double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man Sauce on a Friday afternoon. I think this is the first time in 2 years we've done a podcast on a Friday Arvo, Sauce. But first of all, it's stinking hot out there. How you going?
It is hot. That's why it's dark. It's upstairs. It's the hot air rises as we
Sweating
all know.
in here, man. It's
Elementary school. I'm good, mate. And boy, we've got a jam-packed show because there's been a lot happening in the world of
big
sports,
sport week,
and none to say the least of course, the NBA. But that's not even the most thing that I'm most excited about this week. All right, don't worry. That's not even the thing that I'm most excited because we've got my boy Alexander the Great Volkanovski against Islam Makhachev, UFC 284 in Perth this Sunday, Doma. And I can't wait. Look, obviously not making it over there because it costs a shit ton of money. And maybe one day, if we get to that level, Doma, we could be attending these events. Just we'll pray to the Lord that happens. But till that day happens,
the show, it'd be nice to get the Volk on the show. That'd be elite.
That would be brilliant.
You'd be fanboying, mate.
I might be a bit starstruck.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what to do. It's been a massive week in the NBA. Like Saucy said, in world football, there's been a lot that's happened there. Big UFC coming up. And of course, it's the lead into the biggest American football game on the planet, which is on Monday as well. So there's a lot happening, Sauce. But we are going to start with the NBA. And this week has just been off its head. It started obviously with Cryrie. We got a little bit of a break in between when the scoring champ was not the scoring king. Was crowned,
broke the record,
and then we just got an almighty trade deadline whack out of nowhere yesterday afternoon in Australia. I bet it was about 5:30 Australian time, and we got the Kevin Durant trade had been sent through, and we were just like, what is happening? Obviously, there was rumors after the Kyrie deal that he may be on the table to get shipped off. Did we think it was going to happen? Everyone said no, he's got 3 years left. There's no way they're going to trade him. But I think they're just seeing Cam Thomas and all these other young pieces that they're like, maybe just get rid of him, start fresh, get rid of two guys that have caused so much drama in their franchise. Clean slate and just build on the talent that they got. So let's start with the Kyrie one. First of all, Sauce, we've been saying it for weeks now. We've had people in the chat saying, asking us for weeks about the help for Luka the Don, and it comes in the form of Kyrie Irving off to the Dallas Mavericks. Give us your thoughts on it. I think you like this one, don't you?
I do like it. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting how it plays out, but I think it's going to work because we've seen Kyrie can, defer and play off the ball. But what this is really going to help is, if you haven't watched Dallas games, this is pretty much how they go. If Luka Doncic is on his game, they are in the game, and they're always a chance to win the game. If he's off his game, the other team's obviously, more than likely to win. But when he's on his game, when he goes to the bench, that team cannot carry or hold a lead. They let leads evaporate. I think it's going to be a big help in that situation where you're going to have Kyrie being able to play with the second unit. We know that Luka Doncic plays the whole first quarter. That's his general minutes. He plays 12 minutes, first quarter, and then he comes out for a bit like a decent rest in the second quarter, and then he comes in, going into halftime. That's where Kyrie will step in, lead that second unit, and be able to hold the fort. Obviously, while while freaking Doncic is on the bench, and then we
did think he was going to go play with LeBron at one stage.
We did think he was going to go play with LeBron, but maybe it's him. You see his cryptic tweets, LeBron. It's funny, but anyway, regardless, I think it's a good trade. Well done, to the Mavs organization for finally getting Luka, another top talent. Look, the guys you had there were good basketball players, but they're not good enough to win a championship. I think now they've got a team that could cause some issues for a lot of teams going forward into the playoffs. So we've seen what Luka can do and Cryrie can do in the playoffs. Any night, those guys on any given night, those guys can go off for 50. They're more than capable, 40 or 50. And when you've got that firepower, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to stop. So I mean, Draymond Green wasn't thrilled about it on his talk show, Volume Sports, the Draymond Green show. He wasn't thrilled about it. And I'll tell you what, if I was other teams in the West, I wouldn't be thrilled about it as well.
The West went from being average to the best conference.
I was about to say, you know who's loving this? The Bucks and the 76ers. They're going, yes, sirree. Yes, sir.
They're going Eastern Conference Finals. Here we come. Yeah,
they're going. All right, there's one less team that we're going to have to contend with. It's it's sort of out of three. You'd probably say three teams there in the East. I still think Boston is probably and the Bucks are still a bit ahead of the 76ers. As we've seen, 76ers usually fall apart come playoff time. Embiid's never shown that he can close it out and get the job done. So, until he proves us wrong, I'm going to have to say it's, I'm looking at a Bucks and Celtics Eastern Conference Finals, in my opinion.
We'll get to the West in a second in terms of how that's going to pan out, because who bloody knows. That trade was, just to clarify it, it was Kyrie Irving to Dallas for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and first round and multiple second round picks. A few other ones just before we get to, obviously, the part that broke up the trade deadline. We had Dwayne Dedmon from the Heat got traded to San Antonio for a second round pick. Sacramento Kings acquired Nets for Kessler Edwards. Miami Heat signed guard Jamari Booyah to a 10-day contract. This guy could be like an absolute gun for all I know. You know how the Heat are when they get 10-day contract guys from the G League. They just happen to be the best players of all time, like Strus and Gabe Vincent. They're such great role players. And then Jericho Sims committed to participate in the slam dunk contest, which was good to know. And then that was it. And then we had Showtime, TNT, the big game, the nationally televised game, the biggest one that everyone was looking forward to this year was Oklahoma City traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Lakers in what was the countdown of 36 points for LeBron James to break the all-time points record in regular season basketball. And he did it with, a minute left in the third quarter. Hit a nice fade, broke the record. And of course, in every milestone game that LeBron's ever had, breaking a record or a stat, he's lost it. So, Lakers just shit. Source. It's on
that game. He only cared about breaking the record.
We don't need to talk about the Lakers. Lakers stink. Shannon Sharp was there. Uncle Shannon was there. That's all that matters. Yeah. He was there. There was every star you can think of. Big Denzel was out there as well, watching the King. The only person that didn't get up to celebrate was Anthony Davis, but that's something that can be discussed on another rainy day.
Here it is.
If you haven't seen this shot, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Westbrook actually passed the ball instead of jacking a three there, which was a miracle. LeBron, back down, fade, bang.
There it is.
Nothing but net.
Nothing but net. There he is. The scoring king. He's finally done it. I'm happy for it to be out of the way, to be honest, Doma.
Now you can focus on making the plane.
Now we can actually focus on maybe actually helping the Lakers, because I'll tell you what, all he cared about in that game was breaking the record. He was taking shots that usually he'd pass the ball, and fair enough, whatever. He wanted to get it done. He wanted to make sure he got it done, and it wasn't close game, and it wasn't towards the end of the game, Doma, because obviously they stated if it was under 2 minutes and it was a close game, we're not going to stop the game to have a ceremony. I think it was pretty outrageous that they did that regardless. I thought maybe it would be like, stop, yep, everyone cheering, flash a thing
And
on the
then at
board.
the end of the game, yeah.
And then at the end of the game, people will be like, even win or lose, congratulate him, have a bit of a presentation, whatever. I think it was a bit corny the way that they stopped the whole game like that. I don't agree with it. So to stop the momentum and the feel for the game. But whatever, it is what it is. Congratulations, obviously, LeBron. We knew it was coming. It was funny just seeing people as soon as he done it, seeing his cards listed for sale, on Facebook pages and whatever. Regardless, he's probably going to end up over 41,000 points by the time he's finished his career.
Well, I put a number. I put a number on our story the other day, Source, and it was 3986, and that was the number. I don't know if anyone is aware of what that number is significant to, and that is the countdown to 50,000 career points, playoffs, and regular season. Obviously, no one's ever scored that before, ever, but he's got another 3,900 or 4,000 points to go.
Yep.
And he's actually going to hit the milestone of 50,000 points in his career. As you know, and I've said it multiple times on this show, he is the all-time playoff scoring leader in the history of the game. I think he's got 1,800 more points than what Jordan had, who's in second there. But what can I say, Source? This guy's blown me away personally since I started watching basketball, and to me, based on the history, I don't need to get into GOAT arguments. It's got nothing to do with it. Don't take anything out of context, but he's the best player I've ever seen in my lifetime. I've grown up with him. He's the best player I've ever seen. I never got to watch Jordan. So LeBron's the best player I've ever seen. I've seen him play live twice, and I've seen him play weekly. So he's the best player I've ever seen by a mile. And anyone, as crazy as this sounds, but anyone that puts him anywhere but 2, it's either 1 or 2. You can have that debate. If you put him lower than 2 and you put anybody else in that second position and LeBron's less than 2 anywhere on anyone's list, I'm so sorry. It's like you're a hater of LeBron and you know absolutely nothing about basketball. If you're putting that guy at number 2, you know nothing less than 2. That is just straight up fact. All right. I don't want to hear this person could have done this if they played longer, and that person could have done that if they played longer. That's fine. They probably could have done all these things, but guess what? LeBron's still playing, and he would have broken that record anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Just get over it. So it's as simple as that. Just appreciate him for what he is. And I've said this multiple times. I used to hate on Kobe when I was in high school because he used to always kill the heat, man. And the biggest regret was that I started to appreciate him a lot more when I finished high school, and you get older and you understand the game more and you know how good of a player he was. And then when they retire, you actually regret not enjoying them for the player that they were when they were in the league. So when it's all said and done, you're going to miss LeBron. The fact that he's 38 and he's still dominating, Source, is actually ridiculous in itself. It's actually a joke. He's the best player on his team.
Yeah.
And he's been playing top 5 in the league basketball this season. How does that make any sense?
Regardless, congratulations, Tomo. I mean, you're not you're preaching to the choir here in that situation.
He's just phenomenal.
So look, congratulations. I'm happy for him, and let's hope he can now lead the Lakers to a bit of playoff basketball, because I think our team's good enough to make the playoffs. I still don't think a team, even with the new additions, who do we get? Domo, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and deloading
Mo Bamba.
D'Angelo Russell. Mo Bamba's in. We shipped out a few players. Patrick Beverly, Russ is gone. Thomas Bryant's gone. The team maybe gets a little bit better offensively, but I think defensively we may be lacking a little bit. So look, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what to make of the trades that the Lakers have made. I still don't see the Lakers good enough to win a championship this season. So that's where I'll leave it at that.
That's it. And then after that crowning moment of the King with his scoring, we had the Lakers traded Westbrook the next day, involving the Jazz and the Timberwolves. So they sent Timberwolves sent D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt, as Saucy said, to LA. Westbrook and a first-round pick went to Utah. Mike Conley Jr. and a second-round pick compensation to Minnesota. We then had San Antonio trading Jakob Poeltl to the Raptors. And then we had the big one yesterday, as we said earlier on, and that was Kevin Durant traded to the Phoenix Suns. Jay Crowder was in that deal. The total trade, I'm not sure if they've got it up here. I reckon it'll be in here. No. They sent Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 4 first-round picks, and Jay Crowder to the Nets. Oh, no, sorry. Jay Crowder got traded there as well, but I think they waived Jay Crowder, and the Bucks are going to pick him up, or they traded Brooklyn Nets for 5 second-round picks.
Yeah, 5 second-round picks for Jay Crowder, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, I guess, they've obviously got them stacked from some other deal that they've made. But, I mean, that's a good piece for the Bucks. Think about that. That's, it's a good vet.
That's a great piece.
Who can space the floor, plays good defense. I mean, Jay Crowder was instrumental in getting the Heat to the finals against the Lakers in that run that you guys had.
Spewing when we got rid of him.
And you were upset when you got rid of him because you knew what good defense he played. And look, he wasn't afraid. I mean, he is a bit of a streaky shooter and his shot can fail him at times. But, I mean, if he has a period where he's able to get hot, he can be really good and help your team spread the floor really well. So, look, I think that's a good pickup by the Bucks. In all honesty, I do think 5 second-round picks is pretty hefty for that type of vet. But, they
got a young core now there.
They're in a championship window. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get these guys in when you're there ready to win. And the Bucks have a chance to win the championship this year. So, it's a good trade.
Definitely. Mike Muscala was traded to the Celtics. Serge Ibaka went to the Pacers as part of the Jay Crowder deal. Oklahoma sent Darius Baisley to Phoenix for Dario Saric. Houston Rockets sent Eric Gordon to the Clippers. This was an interesting one. Houston Rockets acquired John Wall in 3-team deal with the Grizzlies and Clippers. He's back to where he didn't play for.
Waived.
Oh, he has to get waived. I reckon he could
play. He talks so much shit about Houston, on a podcast, like just trash talk them. It's funny now he's back there. Now he's back there. That's hilarious.
Luke Kennard to the Memphis Grizzlies. That's a good pickup for a shooter for the Grizzlies. Pat Beverly for Mo Bamba, as you mentioned. Josh Richardson was traded from the Spurs to the Pelicans. Nice bench piece there. The Hornets picked up Reggie Jackson. Agreed to a contract buyout. So, interesting one. Pacers waived Serge Ibaka after they received him. And then the Spurs have waived Dwayne Dedmon. So, there you go, Saul. Some interesting things. But the one, obviously, we want to talk about is what your thoughts on this Kevin Durant this move, the slim ring chaser, as you've called him in the title. Phoenix haven't had to give up CP3, Booker, or DeAndre Ayton in this, so they've kept their core.
I don't know how they've made this happen. Like just go back. How does the NBA veto the CP3 deal when he was trying to team up with Kobe all those years ago, and they allow this to happen? They have not had to give up one of the 3 best players on their team, right, to get this guy, and he's a top 25 player of all time. Like, what? They have absolutely stolen him, and for me, should they be able to figure it out, which I think they will, because, they're all pretty much vets now. I mean, Booker and Aiden's, been in the league quite a while, and obviously CP3 and now Durant. I mean, that team's scary. That team is scary, and then they now, go to serious championship contenders. We're gonna have to see how that chemistry works out.
So a couple of guys that they got source on this team. Obviously, they got rid of the young guys in Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder as well. But in saying that, they've still got the waiver wire, so they can pick up guys. Free like guys that are just there. So it's not like they're in a bit of trouble. But currently, this is who they've got. They're on their team. They've got Damian Lee. They've got Jock Landale, Josh Okogie, Bismack Biombo, Torrey Craig, and they picked up Darius Baisley. Those and did they have the other Bridges? Is he on this team as well? No.
The trade deadline's shut, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's done.
Yeah.
So that's their
bench. I think they'll have to pick up maybe some free agents, or maybe they'll have to be savvy and maybe find some guys in the D League, who knows, that they bring up and can fill a role. So I think there's going to be a bit more there for the Suns. But I mean, I don't mind their team. I don't mind their team. And you got Booker, CP3, and Durant. Now Durant, that's massive. I mean, that's
a great team. This is what we were saying ages ago when they were in that 12th seed source, and Booker went down again, and teams were allowing that Phoenix side with Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges to beat them when they had nobody. That was the point in the season where we said you had to bury them when you had to bury them, because when Chris Paul and Booker come back with Aiden, they're going to be very good. Did we know that they were going to get Kevin Durant? No, we didn't. We had no idea. But the fact that they were able to wriggle their way back up into the 6th seed source with no players, and now they've got Kevin Durant on that side, they can easily climb up into the top 4 seeds overnight, because it's not that far. It's not that far from the standings at the moment. They are
the standings.
They are 8 games behind the Nuggets, but out of the 4th spot, they are 1 game out of the 4th seed.
Oh. They're guaranteed to finish top 4. I mean, KD. I think KD's going to be back within 2 weeks. I believe
they're 3 games. They're 1 game out of the 4th seed source, but they're only 3 games out of the 2nd seed. Denver's just got to hold on for the rest of the season, source, because if they go through a patch where they start dropping games, Phoenix could easily now finish on top of the West. But in saying that, so can Dallas with that Kyrie Irving pickup. And what we've seen, it doesn't matter if you've got a full squad when it comes to playoffs. When you play that Dallas team, Luka can just beat you himself. Yeah, we've seen that before, Source. So it doesn't really matter that this, I know that's very, very scary to see those 4 guys starting on a court in a game, but you got to hope your bench is good. I know they're only going to play with a 7-man or 8-man rotation in the playoffs, because that's what you do. You just play your best team. I understand, but Dallas beat the Clippers by himself. Dallas beat this Phoenix team. Luka beat the Clippers by himself in that series. He beat the Suns by himself. So now he's got help. So if him and Kyrie can get this figured out, when he's getting double and triple teamed and he kicks the ball open to Kyrie, and we know that he can play off the ball and just sink threes, I'm telling you, if there's a guy in the league you don't want open for a 3, time to shoot it, giving him time to shoot it, it's Kyrie Irving.
He's up there.
Or when you're sliding across to play help defense on Kyrie.
Yeah, and he's
got the quick step and he just burns you. And he's just at the ring, and it's just M1 after M1 after M1 because you're trailing from behind. You've got to foul him. It's going to be fun basketball to watch, Sauce, in the second half of this season.
I mean, they had
Lakers,
a good first game today. They played, or yesterday. Kyrie played his first game. They won.
They won.
Can't get up.
There was no Luka in that game, unfortunately.
No Luka played, so good start. Build that chemistry.
They beat the Clippers. It's a good win.
The Clippers with Paul George and Kawhi.
100%.
It's a good win. Away from
Global and Matty Tay, let's get to the chat. How you going, gents? Thanks for stopping by. Yes, that's another one. Matisse Thibel to Portland. There's another one there.
I'm not sure if you've seen the moment Josh Hart realised he'd been traded. Well, he's in the warm-up.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone to the Knicks. That's another one as well.
Brunson seemed pretty happy that Hart went to the Knicks. I mean, I think that's not a bad little piece for them. But
Global says what happens
to the
Nets. What happens to the Nets now? Well, they've got a young core.
They stack draft picks and they go back to the draft.
Cam Thomas got in trouble today for something, Source. He said something inappropriate, I think, at the end of the game. I missed what the comment was, but he had to apologize. Must have said something.
Come on, young Cam.
Come on, Cam. Ben Simmons came off the bench today, Source.
It's his new position.
They ran Dinwiddie at the point, and then Ben Simmons is running the second unit. That's not bad. It's not that bad. It's not good.
Knicks ain't going to make the playoffs now. Knicks not going to make the playoffs. I mean, not Knicks. Nets. They won't make the playoffs. They'll drop.
Matty Tabe says Cryrie better option than Brunson, hands down. Yep, you're on the money there.
For sure.
That's a no-brainer, and that's no insult to Jalen Brunson. It's just
he's been phenomenal this season. He's
been very good. All right, that's the basketball Source. It's 27 minutes of NBA chat.
There's a lot to unpack, Tom. I mean, this is a shake-up to the season, and we now have some serious teams contenders. And I mean, as we said, on the East, narrowed it down to about three teams from what I believe. And in the West, I mean, I think that's thrown the Suns. What I had them out as not title contenders, but I think you get Kevin Durant, that throws your name straight into that hat. Out there in the West. So, 100%. It's going to be an interesting watch the second half of this season.
Definitely. All right, let's move on because the EPL has been just as jam-packed with news this week. We'll get to the results first, and then we'll get to the upcoming fixtures, and then we've got something big to talk about because then this news broke as well this week, which is out of control. And we'll start with the games. Chelsea-Fulham was a 0-0 draw. Everton defeated Arsenal in a 1-0 win. Wolves defeated Liverpool 3-0 in a smashing. Liverpool are struggling. United defeated Palace. Casemiro got a red card in that one. Brighton over Bournemouth. Brentford defeated Southampton 3-0. Leicester defeated Villa 4-2. Newcastle drew 1-1 with West Ham. Nottingham defeated Leeds 1-0. Tottenham defeated City 1-0. And then Thursday morning, United played again against Leeds, and we drew 2-2. Man, I was watching that game. I was not happy at all. Was not impressed, to say the least. Leeds scored in the first minute of the first half, and they scored in the second minute in the second half. And then we bossed them for every other minute of the game, but, couldn't finish. And at the end of the game, Source, every time the ball fell in the box, it fell to Alfredo. Of all the players, it fell to Alfredo's feet, and he's taking the shots to try and win. Couldn't that be Rashford? Couldn't it fall to Rashford's feet? There was 4 opportunities. It was Alfredo taking pot shots on goal to win us the game because there's no one around him. He has to shoot it.
That's a game.
And it was Alfredo.
Against
100%. 100%. I was ropeable. I was so upset. We would have gone equal with City if we won that game in points. And back to 5 points behind.
You're back right in the hunt.
Well, Saucy, we could all be right back. And some of us might even be home, to say the least. We'll get to that in a second. The games this week are West Ham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Brentford. That's a tough one for you, Sauce.
Away from home?
No, it's your home game, but that Brentford team.
A tough game. Brentford did beat City away.
Yeah, they're very.
I don't think I've ever, because obviously with the disappointing result with my boys and against Everton, it was a tough game. I'm not sure if you Everton. There's like the stat was Doma. They've had 7 new managers in the last however many seasons or whatever 2 seasons, and 6 of the 7 times that they've had a new manager, the first game of the new manager's reign, they've won.
Do not even get me started, Sauce. Do not even get me started because that was the same shit So Leeds sacked their manager during the week, and they played us. That time that Palace got their new manager, or Villa, or whoever it was, they sacked their manager. They played us and beat us. We're the same,
What's up
mate.
with
Arsenal and
clubs when you have to
they
wait
have
for
to
the
play
manager to get
us.
sacked to actually
I
start
know.
playing good football?
It's the same thing with the AFL. You know what it's like. The manager the coach gets sacked, and then they go and play the best game of their life. It's like if you actually played like this, you wouldn't have got sacked. You lemon.
Yeah,
Like,
well, maybe that's the ploy. Maybe that's the ploy.
yeah,
But it's pretty
just
funny.
stupid.
And I mean, good result for Everton fans. They're right near the relegation. For us, I feel like we didn't do enough to break them down. We only started moving the ball faster in the second half. I don't know why we didn't start like that from the outset. We allowed Everton to get on the front foot, and it doesn't matter. You let that. It's Premier League side. You let them sort of allow them to play their game and what they were doing and doing it well. Left them in the game. That home crowd gets behind them. I feel like, unfortunately, Arteta made a few wrong moves. I feel like he could have just played for the draw. I think it's not a bad draw away to Everton. I think Everton's also beat Man City or drew with Man City and taken points off City this season. So they've given, they do give, even though they're near the bottom of the ladder, they do give decent clubs, a run for their money and can pinch points from you. So a point away to Everton is probably not the worst result when we've got such a decent lead. But I'll never have celebrated a Man City loss more than I did the loss that they took against Tottenham. And it was just a relief that, we dropped points, but they dropped points as well. So it was a big relief, and I'm still feeling good. And look, we're going to make a few changes, but we'll be back this week against Brentford, I reckon.
That's it. The next one is Palace versus Brighton, which is going to be a ripper. Fulham, Nottingham, Leicester versus Tottenham, Southampton, Wolves, Bournemouth, Newcastle. Leeds play against United again. This time, it's a Leeds home game. The game was a catch-up game from week 9 that we played on the Thursday. So we play them twice in a row. Then it's City versus Villa, Liverpool versus Everton in the Merseyside derby. Sauce. Anything could happen here. The way that Liverpool.
I read Everton's home, Liverpool, Anfield. Where is it?
Anfield.
Okay.
And then the big one
might be up
on the 16th of the 2nd, Sauce, which is on Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. Arsenal versus Manchester City on the Thursday morning next week at the Emirates Stadium. This is big.
Yes.
This is big. But I'll tell you what's in the favor of Arsenal, Sauce. The favor in Arsenal is, obviously, they're playing at home and they've got this to use against Manchester City for 90 plus minutes. And that is them with the allegations that over the last 9 seasons, they have broken financial rules 110 times in the last 9 seasons. Now, Sauce, I went and did some backtracking.
What?
I went and did some backtracking, Sauce. And the first year, like if they were to get punished for all these and they were to lose Premier League titles, Sauce, the title that they would lose, imagine this. It's not going to happen, all right? It won't happen. But just imagine Aguero kicked that goal and buried United's hearts, the fans' hearts, and it all meant nothing. For them to lose the title and potentially we would win it. After all of that,
the Melbourne Storm lost all their titles.
So instead of Aguero, they'd have financial. That's all it would be, mate. They'd be done. And United can just have another trophy, just shine it up there. Add another one to Sir Alex Ferguson's legacy. It'd be nice. And Rooney as well. But they have broken this. The breaches cover the period from 09 and 10 to 2017 and 18. All right. So that Premier League title is in there. Breach more than 100 occasions. It'd be the greatest offences, if proven, they'd be the greatest offences committed by a club in the history of the competition. The independent commission, which will consider the charges, could recommend that City be expelled from the competition, suspended, or dock points if it finds the club guilty. Those sanctions are listed in the Premier League's handbook, but a commission is clear to apply any punishment it considers appropriate. Go out there and have a look at this story source. Now, if you're going to ask me personally what I think should happen, they reckon it could take a while for this to get proven, with all the stuff. And the punishment is backdated. So the season would actually play out this year, and if they were to lose points, they would lose points for this season. So, for example, Man City leapfrog Arsenal, and in 8 months' time, they're found to be guilty. Arsenal will then regain the top of the ladder and they'd get the title. Do you want to win it that way? No. If you're an Arsenal fan like Saucy, you want to win it fair and square. You just want to go out there and get the job done. The other thing is you got to pay a fine. Now, this is the one, or you get relegated into the championship. And it could be a couple years you have to play in the championship. It's not just a one-off year. The interesting thing, Source, about the fine is you remember when they were going to get expelled from Champions League football for 2 seasons, which was 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And they paid a $50 million fine, and there was nothing else said about it. It was done. Now, I was listening to a pundit over in the United Kingdom, and he made a good point. He goes, if these are proven to be accurate, no fine is sufficient enough or acceptable enough for this football club to cop. Because for them, a fine is, I'll just wipe my ass with it because we're all money and we just go back to playing and we just keep dominating. He said they should be copping the fine, and he said they shouldn't get a points reduction. He said they actually should get relegated out of the league. They have to be taught a lesson and send a message to clubs that this shit is not on. You can't just go buy Premier League titles. So, in my opinion, in my bias, because I completely despise Man City for what they are as a football club, but sitting on the fence and putting my bias aside, it actually makes sense. We saw what happened with Juventus that time, Source, in the Serie A. They got booted out of the league.
Yep.
And they had to suffer the consequences. And those consequences were players didn't stick with them. Some did, but a majority of players didn't stick with them. And they lost them and they had to work their way back up into Serie A. Buffon stuck around, like through the hard times. But players such as Zlatan were like, well, I'm not playing championship equivalent football, Serie B. I'm going to leave. And that's even more punishment on the club. You lose some of your better players. So I don't know what your thoughts are, Source. I think that a fine obviously has to form one part of the punishment. But if you're not getting relegated, you have to take points deduction, and if you're not taking a points deduction, you have to get relegated.
The fine part just makes me laugh because all that is just, FIFA, who's corrupt anyway, just taking a payoff to, or whoever it is, the association there in the UK. I don't know, freaking know. Taking a payoff just to, stay silent and allow them to keep going around their business. As you said, no fine is really big enough. So I think, the only course of action is a deduction of points this season where it's significant enough that's going to mean that they don't win the title. So like 15 points, maybe they can still from that point still qualify from Champions League with the games that are left.
No,
right?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Right? They might have that opportunity. Yeah. But, I think it needs to be pretty significant. Or, as you said, they literally get demoted to the championship and, have to serve, 2 seasons in the championship, or depends. I don't think they're going to be that drastic. I think it's going to be, if it does get found out, it's going to be points deduction. If it doesn't happen by the end of this season, it might be that they start next season with a points deduction at the beginning of the season. You start with negative 15 points or something like that. So look, I don't know, but it has to be it has to be some sort of significant.
Well, Derby County went through that process too, Source. When that was like 2 years ago when Wayne Rooney was the coach. Do you remember they copped the points deduction? and they worked all the way from their points deduction past the relegation. I think, or did they end up getting relegated? They just missed out on
I think they
staying in
just
the
missed
league.
out, yeah.
But they fought back and they almost stayed in the league after a points deduction. Like, they got punished. I just hope there isn't a standard for a championship club where we know there is to a team that generates money for the league. So it's the message in the end of the day.
The owners are writing a nice check or sending a few Bitcoin over to their wallet, mate. No, they're doing something right. That's all I'll say.
Global says any F1 news? No. There's been a few showcases.
There's the American driver
for next season. Sauber's been bought into by Audi.
Ford,
I don't know if
Red
anyone
Bull.
saw that news. Ford has partnered up with
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Yeah, seen that.
For the drivetrains. I think your mic's gone, Source. Let us know if you can hear Saucy in the chat. I don't know what's happened there. But that's pretty much it for that. And that's it for the EPL as well and for World Football. We'll just end on a good note. And the greatest note of all was, if you didn't see this morning, the great man kicked 4. So if you don't know who the great man is, let me just remind you who the great man is. Because I can. There it is. Kick 4 for Al Nassr.
Can you hear me, Doma? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, Sauce. I'm sorry, mate. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's me. It probably is me. They probably can hear, but wouldn't surprise me if it's me again. Would it surprise you? Probably
I don't know. It's mate. It's showing me that the microphone.
Yeah, you know what? If I take these out, any money, it'll work.
Hello, Doma. Have you got me?
Whoop.
Is he ready? No.
I reckon it's me. My whole thing's freaking frozen.
Oh no, Doma. Oh no. All right. I can't communicate, so I can't tell him to move on or not.
Talk to me, Saucy.
Doma, have you got me? Hello. Are you there?
I can't hear. Yeah, Global can hear. It's probably me then. That's what it means.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let's move on, Sauce.
We're moving on
to the NFL. And the big game this week, of course, is the Super Bowl, and it is the Chiefs versus the Eagles. Fire away, Sauce. Give your prediction on this one.
I'm going the Chiefs. All the way. Patty Mahomes is going to get the job done. Jalen Hurts is going to freeze in the spotlight of the big game, the Super Bowl. It's his first ever Super Bowl. I feel like he's going to freeze in the spotlight. And Patty Mahomes is going to bring it home. And I'm going to cheer it all the way home. And that offense is just going to be too much for that Philly defense. I feel like, should Mahomes have a bit more movement? He's had 2 weeks of rest. He's been resting up, 24-hour, around-the-clock care, hyperbolic chambers, whatever else is in.
Hyperbolic chamber? What is
yeah, you know that one from Dragon Ball. They're putting him in that, so they're making his foot back to normal. All right, they put him in the hyperbolic chamber.
Spends a day in there, it's worth a year. Comes out better.
It comes out 100% better, mate. Don't worry. They got the technology down there in Kansas, all right? They got the technology down there in Kansas to make it happen. But yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for the day. I'll be watching it live, if you don't mind. Maybe with our good friend of the show, the Messiah, possibly. So we'll see how we go.
What's this? You're going to go watch it with the Messiah?
The Messiah.
No. That could get out of control.
That could get out of control, couldn't it?
Extreme. You know what's funny? Speaking of the Messiah, he actually just messaged me. I'm not joking. I swear to God.
Get him in here. Send him the link. Send him the stream. Yeah, Global. You know the hyperbolic chamber. Have you ever watched Dragon Ball Z? So they got the hyperbolic chamber. They put him in there, and you spend 24 hours in there. And actually, it counts for one year in time, right? So they'll put him in that, and they'll just all right, couple days in there. It counts for 6 weeks, so his ankle will be fresh as a daisy when he comes out. Patty Mahomes. Doesn't matter. He's proven he can do it on one foot.
I'm going Mahomes in Kansas City. It's as simple as that.
He's proven he can do it on one foot.
I'm not backing against the guy that's that good. If Hurts can win it, he wins it. Like good on him. But no chance. I'm going Kansas. They're too strong. So that's our predictions. It really isn't that much in depth, to be honest. It's Kansas and Kansas over here in at double coverage. So that is done and dusted for the NFL. All right, Sauce. I'm going to throw it to you for the promo for our sponsors, and then I know how excited you are for this card. I know what you're going to be doing Sunday. All right. If anyone's going to try and contact this man on Sunday, do not even bother. Do not even bother.
No, don't. I'll be tuned in live. Hopefully, I gotta ring up my friend and G him up. Say, mate, you're gonna buy the pay-per-view, and we're gonna barbecue happening down at your joint. That's the plan. I'm just gonna force invite myself because I know he watches every pay-per-view. He pays for them all as well. He doesn't watch them on the realms of the internet, but I'm happy to chip in and pay for this one. It's the Volk, obviously. Do the right thing, ladies and gentlemen. Support the pay-per-view. The money's going to the Volk, who's, in my opinion, the number one Australian athlete on this planet at the moment. In my humble opinion, he's pound for pound number one best in the world in MMA, and he's got a big fight this weekend. But before we go ahead, Doma, the UFC segment is sponsored by Roll Clean Soap, Australia's number one in MMA, BJJ, and martial arts hygiene. Roll Clean Soap is a proud family-run Australian business. It is made with 100% natural ingredients and helps you keep you clean on and off the mats. Don't be the smelly guy at the gym. Walk in with confidence with Roll Clean Soap and destroy the competition. Roll Clean offers a wide range of products targeted at assisting post-training recovery. Our magnesium bath salts, bath bombs, and boost balm can help ease those aches and pains after a hard training session. Roll Clean offers many soap varieties to choose from. Just visit www.rollclean.com.au or hit them up on socials. That's on Instagram or Facebook. Roll Clean. We've got your back. Best in the business, Dom. And I'll tell you what, when we went to the card show the other week, we smell magnificent. People even gave us compliments, said, "Oh, boy, you smell amazing." Right. Roll Clean Soap.
Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yes. Get the Valentine's Day gifts to the missus. Roll Clean Soap.
Let's put this one up, Sauce. Just so you know, 20% off your first order. Use at the checkout, double coverage. We told you, get a bath bomb. All right. The team down there are now doing washing detergent as well to disinfect, ingredients, and make your clothes smell beautiful at the same time. They even do beard oil, mate.
The range of products is actually pretty impressive, Doma, and they are.
No, it actually amazing. Is, and yeah, exactly.
Everything's 100% natural. All right, Doma, let's have a look. UFC 284 this weekend in Perth. Alexander Volkanovski against Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title. Alexander Volkanovski moves up in a weight division. The bookies have the Volk at serious underdog odds. I think he's like over $4 odds. Makhachev's a $1.30 favorite. Everyone thinks that Makhachev is going to wipe the Volk, wipe the floor with the Volk. I beg to differ. I'm going to stick with my man. I think people are underestimating the Volk. He has fought at lightweight before. He used to fight at lightweight. When he's able to, when he was a rugby player, he was 200 pounds, so he was even heavier than lightweight. So this sort of him putting on this sort of weight is no issue. I'll be interested to see how the fight plays out. But before we go and talk about the main fight, let's run through the main card. I'll even tell you the early prelims. The early prelims kick off from 10 a.m. They'll obviously be for free on ESPN. So tune in there, or, you can watch it if you've got KO or so on. Early prelims, there's, a couple of guys. There's it's stacked full of Aussies. You got Shannon Ross on there, who was won his he won his spot through the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And then you have Jamie Malarkey. You got Jack Jenkins, who's on there as another Aussie. So definitely, support them. in the 10 a.m. Those kick off. Then you have the 12 p.m. You've got Tyson Pedro, who's an absolute beast. Joshua Kulabau, who's an absolute beast in the featherweight division. That's against Melis Bagadasarian, and Tyson Pedro's against Modesta Bukakaskis. I thought I'd have a crack at those. They're absolutely very hard to say. And that's in the light heavyweight. So I expect Josh and Tyson to both win. I like them both to win in the prelim card. They'll be hyped up in front of the home crowd. Josh is actually 10-1-1 in his Josh Kulabau is 10-1-1 in his professional record in MMA. So he's going very, very well. But then you have the main card that kicks off from 2 p.m. It kicks off with Jimmy Crute, the Bendigo Bomber, as they like to call him, because he's from out there in Bendigo, rural country town out here in Victoria, against Alonzo Menfield. This will be a good fight. He's hyped to come back. I'm not sure if you've heard his interview on Them Fighting Words. That's the new show, which is on SEN. They've gotten behind MMA. They've got an MMA-specific show that airs every Sunday. And talked about his tribulations and his failures and so on, and he's come back a new person. We'll see how he goes this Sunday. So we're going to back Jimmy Crute against Alonzo Mainfield. He's going to be hyped up in front of the home crowd. You got in the heavyweights, you got Parker Porter against Justin Tafa. We'll go with Tafa to get the win. In the welterweight, Jack Della Mandalena. Doma, this guy, remember this name, Jack Della Mandalena. This guy has lightning hands. Lightning. You do not want to stay on your feet with Jack Della Mandalena because he will knock your block off. And I think he will do that against Randy Brown quite easily. He's finished, I think, he's finished. Well, I just want to check something here. Let me just fact check because I don't like to be wrong on some of these things. Last 3 fights, Doma. First round, KO. First round, KO. First round, KO. Jack Della Mandalena. 3 KOs in a row, all finished in the first round. Ladies and gentlemen, put a little something on Jack Della Mandalena, finishing in the first round, KO, if you don't mind. Probably playing some decent odds. Gamble responsibly. I like that. Then you have Yair Rodriguez against Josh Emmett, featherweight division. That's a co-main event. That will be a cracking fight. That's for the number 1 contender for the featherweight title. So the fighter who wins that will come up against Alexander Volkanovski when he goes back down to featherweight to defend his title. I think Yair Rodriguez, I don't know. Yair's had been on a good run, and Josh Emmett, he can be that sort of, he's dangerous because he's a bit awkward fighter. He's a bit of a different style. I don't know. I think this is a toss of the coin, but I'm going to go with Yair because I like his power and he's got that real knockout power. So, he hits you. You stay hit. So we're going to go with Yair Rodriguez to win that fight. I wouldn't be surprised if it maybe does go the distance or if Yair finishes the fight early. And then in the main event, Islam Makhachev, lightweight division against Alexander the Great Volkanovski. Doma, I'm going to go with the Volk. Am I one of those people that's going, the Volk's we just got it? No, I can't say that because Islam is such a beast himself. But I really think that Islam is underestimating Volk's ability to dodge and, be quick on his feet. I don't feel like he's had a fighter that moves this quick on his feet. His ability to get in and out, strike and not get strike. Will he get taken to the ground? Probably he will get taken to the ground. And I think that will be the test. And we'll see that early on in the fight. I feel like Islam's going to go for that in the first round. He's going to go for a takedown. He's going to go for multiple takedowns. Volkanovski can show that he can defend those takedowns. It's fight on, ladies and gentlemen. Because if this does, if this gets to the point where, Volkanovski is worrying him enough that he's staying on his feet because he can't get those takedowns convincingly, and he's spending a lot of energy trying to get those takedowns. Boy, oh boy, I think we could be in for one of the fights of the year already, and we could see 5 rounds. I don't know if I see Volkanovski finishing him. I feel like if Volkanovski is going to win this fight, it's probably going to have to go the distance, and he's going to have to do quite a bit. On the other flip side, if Makhachev does win the fight, I feel like he's going to submit him. So I don't think Islam can knock him out, but I feel like Islam, definitely has the capabilities to submit him. I'm going to go with the Volk, just because my boy, and don't want to PC him, so can't go against him. He's an absolute unit. So look, I'm going with the Volk. I'm not confident. I'm not confident, and I'm not going to, say, bet money on him. But personally, I'll have a little cheeky something on him. So
very nice,
just because he's my boy.
I like
UFC 284 this weekend. Tune in 10 a.m. Prelims start from 10 a.m. and main card starts from 2 p.m.
Very nice. Adam said he reckons Volk by submission second round.
Mate, if Volk submits Islam, people will lose their shit. And just on the scheme of things, let's just, before we move on, Doma, you need to think about this. If Volk actually wins, he's a double champ. People are saying if he somehow pulls this off and wins this fight as this crazy underdog against Islam that no one expects him to win, he has to be in the top 5 GOAT talks or the GOAT in the sport.
I'm just going to put it out there, all right? I don't want to project anything. This is an if, and it's a big if. But if he wins, I'm telling you right now, live, to everyone that's watching, to everyone that's going to watch, everyone that's going to listen to this later on audio, the great man, our friend of this show, Cage Lawyer, you are going to probably get a lemon next week on this show if the Volk wins on Sunday. You are going to get one of the biggest lemons from Saucy of all time on this show. And it's going to be a fast-forwarded, a backdated lemon nomination. And you're going to get a nice early present in 2023 in February if it happens. But even if he loses, Sauce, he is taking the punt and he's going up a weight class.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the thing you got to admire. He could just stay in featherweight. And dominate that division, just beat guy after guy after guy after guy. But he wants to challenge himself. He wants to be considered as one of the best MMA fighters to ever live. And I mean, if he does this, he's going to be in the talks for sure. I mean, he's already in the talks, but I mean, this would just elevate his legacy in MMA. So look, I'm hyped. James, too late. I've already put the bet on the Volk. Don't worry, James. I'm still putting some money on him. I'm still hyped. I mean, I might even put something on the Volk into John Jones in the next main event against Cyril Gane, because, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just give you the shout out here. When the odds came out, he was $1.83, John Jones. Last time I checked, he was already into $1.76. And I'm telling you right now, by fight, he will be $1.60, right? Because people will realize that he's such a beast. And if Ngannou was able to wrestle and do what he did against Gane and beat him that way, when no one thought Ngannou was going to wrestle, except for me on this show, even the experts, MMA experts, thought he wouldn't do that, but it's also seen it coming, right?
Yeah.
John Jones is another level of wrestling. He is unbelievable, and Gane will have no chance against John Jones when it comes to wrestling. So that's maybe my little play. So then boost up the odds a little bit, have a little something going on to the next main.
Bit of something. I like it, Sauce. I like it. All right, very nice. It's great to see the great man join too, Sauce, in the chat. Did you see his name there?
There he is, the Messiah. Yep, he's there.
Get everyone nice and pumped up on a Friday, Ivor. It's good to have you.
Oh, he's hot, mate. His boy's the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
His boy, Patty Mahomes.
Mahomes boy.
In the Super Bowl.
He'll be up and about as well. All right, Sauce. It's back to you again because you found something that you wanted to share with everyone, and that is this week's Lemon of the Week.
This week's Lemon of the Week. All right, let's just watch this clip, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see it here. I'll narrate it a bit after it's played the first bit.
Fuck, bro. for this bloke.
So anyone listening,
No way.
anyone listening on audio,
What are you doing, bro?
it's
Fucking rip the cunt off.
this is a video from Instagram from Craig Jones BJJ. Shout out to him. They rented some Lambos over in Perth. They're here obviously for the UFC, and they've dropped them off at the hotel. And he's went to go give it to the valet, and the valet has crashed one Lambo into the back of the other Lambo. The old valet parking, and the funniest is how he explains it.
Yeah, bro.
Listen to this.
Because you see those two pedals are too close together.
Yeah,
When I was pressing the
you
brake,
brake.
it just pressed the thingy and then just.
Yeah, you need to press easy, man.
Oh, he's spewing. But he said, see how those two pedals are together? I was trying to press the brake and I hit the other one and it went forward. Well, that's generally what happens when you hit the acceleration pedal, buddy. The car doesn't move. It moves, right?
Oh.
But the fact of the matter is that bloke, the valet parking, you are an absolute Lambo! How do you not know how sensitive a Lambo is?
It's not even that. It's just, it's just so bad.
How do you make that mistake? How do you? But not only did he fuck up one Lambo and just crash that one into the wall, he crashed it into the wall and then hit the other Lambo as well.
If you don't know how to drive the car, just don't drive it. Tell them to move it.
Oh my god!
Oh, you better hope they got it. Well, the hotel will have insurance. He's going to be working a bit of overtime to pay that one off. I can tell you that much.
Freaking hell!
Jay says clearly stolen cars.
They were rentals. The guy
love it.
did say that they were rentals.
All right,
So too bad for the rental company.
let's get into Hobby Talk Source, brought to you by Platinum Standard Grading. Thank you to the crew at Platinum Standard Grading for all your grading needs in Australia. Definitely hit them up. Saucy, do we have an interesting hobby talk teed up? Because we've been put on a hit list again, and it's good. It's actually not bad. I'm glad that there's some people in this chat. So when we do a bit of a revelation in about 5 minutes time, they're going to piss themselves laughing. But as we normally do, Source, with 4 days left, this time round we have a Project 22 cards. Steven Gerrard by Aches Dub. We got Kaká by Case McLean. We got Takumi Minamino by Dai Tamura. We have your boy Yaya Toure by Mike Perry.
I like that one. I do like
and
that one.
Sam Kerr by Tyson Beck. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. I'm happy about that one. It's a very nice card. She's doing a backflip there, which is pretty cool. All right. A few interesting things. There's not much on the agenda here, but we have this bad boy right here. Bit of a better look at Topps Dynasty.
Released F1 2022.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it's good to see Danny Ricciardo still in the set.
There's his zipper. I don't know what part the zipper's from.
Interesting.
We've got Zhou Guan Yu, who's the guy that everyone wants to collect for some reason. Don't know why. We've got George Russell. these nice patch and relic autos. They're actually really nice. They've got the dual autos.
Are the
But here we
relics
go.
actually driver worn or?
Oh, well, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait. It comes out on the 1st of March, but that's a bit of a preview into what we've got coming up. Source. They're nice looking cards. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they are. It's a nice set. It's a nice set.
So, and then on the flip side, we have 2022 Topps Chrome Sapphire Edition, 331 a box. It's a bit different to $3,000 a box. Remember that? I actually like the picture cards in the variation that they've shown as the preview here. Like that's a really nice image of Lewis Hamilton. That's a nice one of Max Verstappen.
I feel like they could do better with some of the imaging. I feel like they need to do better at getting some more imaging from, races throughout the year. Certain things like them. I don't know. Just I feel like they could do better with the imaging.
There's a lot of images you can use, but I'm with you. I don't disagree at all.
It depends on how much they have to pay for the licensing of the images. So, I mean,
patches are from the Dandenong drag races.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, mate.
There's Joe. All right,
they got they got it off the racing suit that they found at freaking Savers.
The next one is a bit of an interesting one. So I got a bit of feedback throughout the week regarding the hobby hangout in Queensland that happened over the last weekend. So also just passed.
Yep.
So it was all really, really positive feedback. People I've spoken to said they said it was fun, but probably due to the economy, there was little sales and a lot of browsing. As we know, we're on the brink of a recession here in this country, so it's not looking good. So the vendors said it was very slow for them, but they had an upstairs trade area there, which was actually going off, and a lot of people were keen for that. So they were up and about looking at each other's collections and trading and all that type of stuff. But the sales were a bit slow. Overall, it was a great day, I was told. So well done to them. Next one up is, of course, Melbourne on the 5th of March. So
yeah, and I believe the week before that also, Dom, there's another show.
There's the Melbourne Card Show.
Melbourne Card Fair.
Oh, fuck. I can't get any of them correct.
The Melbourne Card Fair.
I'm a fucking
It's in North Melbourne. It's in North Melbourne.
Oh.
And I believe that's the week. That's the week before. Prior.
The week after, you've got the big one here in Melbourne, the Hobby Hangout, and you've got these two buffoons right in front of you are going to be on the stage. And we've said it once before. We've got Jules from EJ Cards up there. There's us. And you got Panther up there with us as well. The fact that Panther's going to be on a panel with us, who knows what the hell is going to happen?
Nothing. This could go south really quickly, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you get your tickets and come there and check us out and hear us ramble on. Like we ramble on here anyway, so I'm sure
Jules is a nice guy, yeah. So Jules is a really nice guy. We're all nice people, right? But Jules is a really nice guy. Lane's up there with us, and if you don't know Lane, he's the nicest guy.
Gentlemen.
And then you got us two buffoons. And then Panther, if you've watched our footage when we've had him on this podcast, I don't need to tell you what we think of Panther. So you can come up with those assessments yourself. So there could be a lot of banter on there. I've been told there's a couple of people traveling from Sydney, and they said, we're keen to just heckle you while we watch you.
It's going to get loose on stage, Global reckons. I might have to be double parked, I reckon, as well. Just have the
Jay, you better be there. I want you there, Jay. I know Global's going to be there. I know that who else is going to be there? Jay's going to be there. Matty Tabe's going to be there. Adam's going to be there. Jay, you got to come back. They miss you. They've been asking where you've been. So to see you again in the flesh, that's what they want. And you should put your hand up and see if you can ask some questions from the crowd. It'd be quite interesting.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
I'm just a bit worried.
I want to know what Jay would yell out.
I'm just worried. Source.
Could go south really quick.
yeah, Jay said I'm coming on stage with you guys, triple coverage.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You
tell you
can
what,
bag the shit out of
it's-
Panther like we're about to do when
It's
we go up
it's a
there.
quick for you to come up there is a quick, short way of us to never get invited back to that show ever again. Because the three of us would start rambling about so much shit, it would be ridiculous. So I'm looking forward to it. I know Saucy is too. We all are. And we're just looking forward to obviously the catch up as well. We will have a table there. We'll be doing our thing, selling cards, walking around, bit of content, but mostly just having a chat with everyone there. That was the most fun we had at the last show that we had in Melbourne. So we'll do that again and probably do a bit of a catch up afterwards, Sauce, get a few bevies after the show. And just a reminder, Global was at the last one, so he did make it. He didn't just up and leave.
He didn't just, yeah.
So just remember, just follow the same criteria, Alex, and you will be fine. All right, you just stick with us, and you'll get through it. All right, let's get to some funny stuff because I love this shit. All right, number one on the
We've had a
agenda.
revelation this week, Dom. We've had a revelation.
A massive revelation, Sauce. Huge. And I'll tell you what, it makes a lot of sense when you brought this to my attention. Because, as you know, my personal account on Instagram is pretty much our double coverage account. And I'm always going through shit. As you see in our stories, Saucy and I are always sharing stuff in our story. And for the life of me, Sauce, I was thinking to myself, and then you probably thought the same thing. Why aren't I seeing PWCC sales data coming up in my feed? I used to see it all the time. Lo and behold, Saucy has had a revelation. The list continues to grow. We have been blocked by PWCC Marketplace. That brings us to 3 blockings in
That we know of.
So that takes it to Sac Lemon, the Sack of Lemons cards. He's number 1. We had Juanito at Card Porn as number 2. And now we've got PWCC, Mr. Extended Bidder, as Mr. Shutdown Auction during the middle of an auction as number 3. So, funnily enough, yeah. Global said, I'm happy to help you guys with your table while you dribble shit on stage. Yeah, the Oracle will be at our table as well. ComC with some changes.
Yeah, I believe ComC is partnering up with BGS, and you can do grading directly through ComC. You know, get your buy cards on ComC to get a grade directly with BGS. I believe I noted that. Yeah, extended shilling. That's exactly right, Jay. So not extended bidding, extended shilling. It's pretty funny because Dom, I will bring up. You know what? I want to bring up that. Let me just bring it. Let me find it and read.
Let's just chop up some shit here, and let's just have some fun.
So there was obviously, if you have been unaware, they had the PWCC weekly auction. The site went down when it was supposed to start going towards extended bidding. Site went down. They ended up fixing the site and put it back up like however many hours later. And they said, well, we're just going to have to end the bidding the following night and start the extended bidding. So they pretty much extended the whole bidding for another 24 hours on the cards, right? And obviously, you know, the other YouTubers and, you know, hobby content creators spoke about it. AIH Rahul being one. And I wanted to see the comment. Hang on. Brent from PWCC commented on one of Rahul's videos. Obviously, Rahul, you know, talking about the issue with the website, and you know,
why isn't Rahul blocked?
Like he usually does, right?
Why doesn't Rahul get blocked?
Oh, mate, he calls out everyone. I don't know. He's not blocked. Anyway, regardless, right? So this is what he said, Brent from PWCC on Rahul's video. We at PWCC do not shell our auctions. We do, however, encourage our owners, the buyers, groups, and price fixers to engage in nefarious activity as long as they keep it between themselves. As far as card trimming goes, we do not have an issue with that, as it is all part of the game, right or wrong. On technology, we are trying hard, but we are over leveraged and can't pay our IT staff properly. So expect more site breakdowns in the future. Love your channel and all the best.
He's being sarcastic. He's
That's what he said, Brett. So you're pretty much telling me you're making all this dosh and you can't employ the right IT people to not have this site breakdown. You could have just kept running your stuff on eBay. Your site would have never broke down. But we know why you got kicked off eBay, because there was a dubious activity. But nonetheless, you move over to your own site, and then your own site itself is fucking shit.
This is the reason why we got blocked, ladies and gentlemen. This is probably the reason why.
But look, it's pretty funny that that's their response, mate. That they say that they don't shield their cards, but they encourage their. Let me just tell you this, Doma. Whether you people want to believe it or not, I'm telling you right now, people out there will get others to bid on their card to bid up the price. I don't care what you say. They do. It happens. I've freaking seen it happen at a house auction, Doma, which is actually completely illegal. Right? This is cards. House is even next level. You know, this is. I mean, it's not illegal for someone to do that, but you know, it's not accepted here in the hobby. It's not fond. You know, people. It's pretty dirty tactic, and it's half the reason why, Dom, I haven't been able to get a nice sucker auto that I want to buy, because every time I find the card or the card pops up, it just gets shilled. It's just getting bid up. You know, I think it's ridiculous. So look, it happens. I don't think they'll ever stop it. PWFCC site is a shambles. I think it's hilarious, their answer to what, you know, that they gave Rahul on that. Pretty funny, if you ask me, saying that they're aware of card trimming, you know, part of the game, right or wrong, and they have sold trim cards before. Yeah, and ones that were trimmed that weren't marked trimmed or labeled trimmed. So
I'll bring it up. So, yeah. Let me just.
What's that?
Where's the images here? Lemon. Is that gonna work?
What are you trying to bring up?
I've got the image
of Brett. What he said?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can bring it up if you want. I've got it
Brett
right here.
from Shield WCC.
Yeah, I've got it right here. There you go.
Here it is. Oh, I got it. Oh, you got it?
There it is. So that's Rahul's post of that AOH Sports.
I reckon it's just. I just reckon it's sarcasm sauce. So that's just me personally. He's just being a dickhead. So read some of the comments. I can't read them. So.
Oh no! Could this be? Real 27 guys saying that's not actually Brett. So maybe it's a spam account. Oh,
yeah, it doesn't sound.
Could be false reports.
It could be all fake.
Could be fake.
Yeah,
I don't want to say that.
I'm not reading into it. Global says shilling happens in
Brett?
every auction house in all markets. Matt said, I mod an auction page on Facebook, and if you did this or extended your end date time on auction, you'll be booted. No chances. Why do you think Shilstein is still running on eBay? Because they got a market share now. Because they got there's no one else on there with them. So they're loving life, Shilstein. So I know,
just be wary.
Anyway, the last thing, Sauce. You remember? Let's go to a bit of some Babe Ruth action. We don't talk a lot of baseball on here. So obviously the Babe Ruth cut sig auto National Treasures recently brought to our attention. There was an assembly error made involving a Babe Ruth cut auto from 2022 National Treasures baseball. We contacted the collector, received the original card, create a new card with a new Ruth cut signature, and the collector will have it in his hands this week. So they've rectified the issue, Sauce. All right.
Well, at least they fixed the problem.
So it's pretty good. They got someone in the office with a grey lead pencil to just write on a piece of paper, because obviously they got caught out Panini. So they just wrote out a fake. They forged a note here, forged an auto, which is pretty good.
You
And
can't
then
say
they
that. I hope they're not doing that.
Nah, they did. I'm just kidding. And then they put it in the card. It's actually a lovely card, mind you. But good on them. All right, they got held accountable and they had to rectify the issue, and they did. So I'm not going to shit on you, Panini. You've done something good. Dude looks like his Sundays are full at mass time with Sunday school. Says Matty Tape. All right. That's pretty much it on the hobby front source. Unless you got something you want to rip. Let's close the business.
I don't want to rip anything, Domo.
No, I'm just saying I haven't got anything to rip this week. I got my One Piece box, but I probably have to do a full rip for that.
We do that.
Did you watch Did you watch the SCR live? No, I missed it. Got a bit happening at the moment. Sorry, guys, I missed it. I might have to go. Is that saved on the YouTube?
Oh man, they do some long lives. They do. It's good stuff. It's good content. I mean, look.
Anything coming up for us? Yes, Dan the Card Man is coming up for us. Don't know when. But
Yeah,
it's
we've got a few
this
more
morning.
people. There's someone else also. I'm in the works of trying to get on and do a special pod, Doma. So I've been meaning to literally get him on for 2 years.
Don't worry. I think we might hit up Matty Tabe. And there's someone that's followed us. He fights here in Australia. He does some MMA. Might have to hit him up and get him on the pod. Be interesting to see how he got into it and chop it up with him. Bit of MMA talk. Get our first athlete on the show, Source.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be the good advancement for 2023.
Yeah,
goals
change it up.
for double coverage.media.
So if you know any athletes, send them our way. I don't care what they're in. If they, well, I do care. They should really align with the sports that we present on this show, really. But I'm happy to, and Saucy and I are happy to go outside those tram tracks, you know. Kat's the main BJJ girl. Yeah, I know. She beats the shit out of you, Maddie, and I wouldn't mess with her either. So, thank you. All right, we're done and dusted. I'm not going to keep rambling and wasting your time. You probably already switched it off by this point.
We're nearly at the hour 30, Doma. We got to round this up, mate.
We got to round this up.
Than that.
It's a Friday. We had a lot.
It's bloody. It's freaking TikTok. Brain capacity.
Yeah, I know. If it's not 15 seconds, people shut off. The fact that the people that are watching this are still in here, it's a miracle.
Absolute goats. That's what they are.
Yeah, exactly. Kudos to all of you. You guys are legends. All right. On that note, I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. Keep living, loving, and breathing sport. It's double coverage. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and peace.
Peace out, ladies and gents.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.